Hi, I'm Stephanie Laska. I lost 140 pounds and created Dirty Lazy Keto. Thanks for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy the show. Well, Instant Pot tips and tricks for weight loss is what we are talking about today. The Instant Pot. I got one right here. I didn't clean it first, so I apologize, but it is here. This is my tried and true Instant Pot, and I want to share some of my tips and tricks for you for weight loss in particular. So if you like topics like this, I know I've been trying to do more and more of the practical keto cooking tips. If you like this sort of thing, please give the video a thumbs up. It helps the video rise to the top so that everybody else can see it. Otherwise, it just sinks, and that's very sad. And then I know nobody liked that topic. But if you like Instant Pot and you want more tips and tricks like these, please give it a thumbs up. The reason why I do these videos, I know I'm putting myself out there. My kids are completely mortified. They're teenagers now. They're like, really, Mom? A YouTuber? Really? That's so embarrassing. My kids are mortified because they want me to not talk about weight loss and not talk about weight issues. For most of us, it's like a sensitive, quiet subject that you want to keep private. But for me, I feel like I've been blessed so much losing 140 pounds that I want to pay it forward. I want to show my journey and how I lost 140 pounds to help you do the same, because it's not that hard once you figure it out. It's just figuring out and having a friend to kind of walk you through the process and nudge you when things get tough. I want to be that friend for you. So that's why we're talking about, ways to cook fast. Because when you have kids, you have a family. If you're like me, I'm in charge of cooking. I know, so not fair. But I needed ways to create low-carb meals that were healthy, fast, and delicious. We want them to taste good, but I didn't want them to cost too much. I didn't want too many fancy ingredients or any fancy ingredients. And I wanted to make it quick so I could get back to, watching my shows or getting outside or going back to work or doing what I want to do, not slaving over a hot stove. So I do want to share with you some tips about this delicious device. It's one of my favorites, okay? So I have seven tips for you today. 7, you can count them, for weight loss using the Instant Pot. So in case you're a beginner, I just want to cover a couple of logistics. So this is tip 1, some of the logistics for you. People are always like, if they're new, they're like, can't you just throw anything in there and cook it? No, ma'am. Just a quick beginner tip. Always make sure that you have at least a cup of water, some kind of liquid. You can use broth, but use a cup of water when you cook anything. That's your beginner tip. You don't have to be all fancy. This will help you avoid the dreaded burn. It will say burn if there's no liquid in here, and I'm guilty of that. I totally thought I did, but then I didn't, and then my food's toast. Has anyone else done that? Thumbs up if you have, okay? Don't make me feel sad all by myself. So a cup of water, never forget. And whenever you're cooking in the Instant Pot, you want to make sure that you use your Trivet. This is called a Trivet. You can see how dirty mine is. I need to put it in the dishwasher. You can buy more than one of these, and it just lifts your food up off the bottom of your Instant Pot, allowing that cup of water to circulate, because that's going to create that high pressure situation. I know when I first got this thing, I was super scared of it, just like my air fryer. I thought it was going to blow up. I thought it was like a spaceship. I really did. It was very intimidating. So that's why I want to do this beginner video, share with you what I recommend you use it for. That way it's not so scary. So always put your Trivet inside. Always put a cup of water. This you can remove, put it in the dishwasher. You can even buy more than one of these if you want. But when it comes to the lid, this is two things actually, I didn't know about during the logistics session. Do you see, when I was a beginner, I had no idea what was happening here. Do you see this like rubbery plastic thing? Did you know this comes out? Because when I first got my Instant Pot, I was like, I had no idea. You can remove this little guy and clean it. In fact, you need to do that. Just use hot soapy water, but especially after you cook chicken or something, like that, you need to take this out and clean it. I didn't know at first. So it took me a while. And when you get it back, make sure it's nice and clean and dry before you pop it back in. And a good seal before you try to put it back on. I'm not going to do that on camera because I'll stress out a little. But anyway, that's very important. You can clean it. And fun little tip about logistics. I was always like laying down my heavy lid, pooling water all over the place. Do you guys do that? Okay, this is going to blow your mind. You ready? You ready? Pay attention. Check this out. Boom! Did you know that? Did I just blow your mind? Boom! That's what this little thing is for on the side. I know. Boom! Now you never have to set down a hot, drippy lid on your counter and make a huge mess. Hopefully you gave me a thumbs up just for that tip alone, because that blew my mind. I was so excited about that. Those are the logistics. Those are out of the way. Now, number 2, I'm going to go through. Do you remember how many? Comment. Do you remember? Checking. That's right. There's 7 tips today. So the second tip I want to share with you for the Instant Pot for weight loss, and this is about cooking food. Here's my tip. Cook small pieces to make sure it cooks faster. Now, when you're making anything really in the Instant Pot, like let's say cauliflower, if you try to shove the whole thing in there, plastic off, obviously, it is going to take you longer to cook. It's more dense. Now, yes, you can, but why? I have found out with all of my cookbooks and research and fun in the kitchen, the smaller the pieces, the faster and the easier and the better it cooks. And that goes from everything from meat to vegetables. So what I usually do when I'm like trying to make, let's say mashed cauliflower, right? Like a smooth substitute for mashed potatoes. What I do is I break these up into 1 to 2 inches, and I'll do like 20 minutes at high pressure with a cup of water, of course. And then they're really, really soft and mushy and perfect to blend for your faux potatoes. So that's a good little tip for you. Small, small pieces. Now that includes other big dense items. Like for example, everybody knows that I am in love with artichokes. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. These are my favorite. So how do you cook these, right? The artichoke method in your Instant Pot, so much easier, so much more fabulous and less burniness, because that's not a word. I used it, but than trying to do it in a pot of boiling water. So what I do is you take your raw artichoke, okay, and then you're going to trim it. And what that means is you're going to cut off the leaves by like an inch or so, and then trim this here too and wash it. So what that's going to look like, here it is before, here it is after. Here it is before, okay? Here it is after. You see that? People always ask me, what do you do with an artichoke? Okay, this is the first thing you do. Cut off the trim, just an inch or so, trim it off. So it's like that, trim off that, wash, wash, wash. Trim off any extra leaves, you know, like these, and you're ready to go. Now, to cook this whole jumbo artichoke in your Instant Pot, yes, you can, but you may not get it cooked completely all the way. So what I like to do is I cut it right down the middle. Again, a smaller piece is going to cook faster. So here's an example of what that looks like after I put it in my Instant Pot. I cook a whole bunch of them, maybe like 4 to 6 halves at a time, and I'll cook them for 22 to 23 minutes on high pressure. Now it shrinks a little bit, right? You can see the inside of the artichoke. So here's what it looked like before. When it was trimmed, I cut it right down the middle, and now it's like a half of a sphere. And I just kind of pack them in there. Again, it's about 22 for medium-ish size, and if they're really big jumbo-y ones, I like them quite mushy. So I'll go 23 minutes on high pressure on my Instant Pot. There's a good tip for you, right? I know when it comes to losing weight, we have to figure out how to use these gadgets. Otherwise, they just take up too much room on the counter and no one knows what to do with them. So if you do like fast cooking tips like this, I'm sure some of you have an air fryer. Thumbs up if you have an air fryer. I'll link up a video right after this with tips for weight loss on the keto diet and low carb diet for an air fryer. So look for that at the very end. So here's my third tip. My third tip is to use the Instant Pot to pre-soften vegetables when you're using them in another recipe. So pre-soften. I know, not cook completely, but just pre-soften them. For example, I love stuffed bell peppers. Do you guys like those? Love them. So easy to make, right? So yummy. But here's the problem. When you get them all in a big tray and you're sticking them in the oven, sometimes the outside bell pepper, it stays hard, even though you've filled it with cauliflower, rice, meat, cheese, taco meat, whatever. It just doesn't sometimes cook all the way. So what I like to do is I take the top off my bell pepper cup. So here it is. I just slice that off like so. So it's like a little cup-see. Yeah. And then I'm going to put these inside my Instant Pot upside down. Not right side up. Can you guess why? You can put it in the cup. Oh, hello. You can put it in the comments if you can guess why. Maybe you'll win something. Oh, prizes. So I put them upside down like this, and I'll put like 4, 6, however many I'm doing. And then I will put it in my Instant Pot for just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. And the point is to get them nice and soft, not too mushy, still pliable to hold, my stuffings, but just so they're like a little bit pre-cooked. And that way they finish off in the oven and you have a great experience with your stuffed peppers. Did you figure out why you put them upside down? Did anyone get it? I'll look in the comments. The reason why is if you put them like this, when the pressure of the Instant Pot is swirling water and, steam and blah, 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 all that spaceship stuff, it'll fill this with water. And you don't want that because then they'll overcook. But if they're upside down, they do not fill with water. So make sure they're upside down. That's a simple trick, right? And don't waste this. You can always cut that into small pieces and add it to the insides of your stuff. So there you go. And always choose the green ones if you want a lower carb bell pepper, right? Do you know why? Because the red and the yellow have more carbs. So cut carbs where you can. They taste almost the same. They just look a little different. Go for it. So and alongside tip number 3, which is to use the Instant Pot for pre-softening your vegetables for recipes. Another example of where I do that is with Brussels sprouts. Love, love, love Brussels sprouts. Yes, they're a little bit higher in net carbs. Did I gain weight from eating Brussels sprouts? Was I a 300-pound person from eating Brussels sprouts? No, I was not. I was probably eating Cheetos and Doritos and, nacho chips and oatmeal and blueberry muffins, all sorts of things that were higher in carb. Not because of Brussels sprouts. Anywho, so I like to pre-cook these a little bit in my Instant Pot before I'll use them in another recipe. Like, for example, I have a great recipe I bet a lot of you have tried. If you like things that are spicy, does anyone like sriracha or hot food? Do you? I do. And an example of a recipe that I would use these in is in the No Time to Cook cookbook, which I'll show you a picture of. Here we go. The No Time to Cook cookbook, which is the 3rd cookbook in the series. It's called a sriracha, the sriracha Brussels sprouts. It's a recipe that's on page 141. So make sure you check that out if you have your copy of No Time to Cook cookbook, because it teaches you how to cook them real quickly here before transferring them over for the final recipe. Super easy and delicious. So that is tips 1, 2, and 3. I know we're doing good. And there's 7 total. So hold me to it. Now the next tip I've got for you is to use tinfoil. Tinfoil inside your Instant Pot. Now you can do this for weight loss recipes. Did you know that? Did you know you can put tinfoil inside? I know. I'm blowing your mind just like I blew your mind with this. You're all like, woo. Or maybe you knew it. Of course you did. Well, I didn't. This was something I had to learn along the way. And one thing, especially when you're making like baked goods, like for example, muffins. I've got a recipe for you. We were talking about muffins earlier. These are a low carb muffin. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, you can. And it's a low carb keto friendly muffin. These are the brown bag blueberry muffins on page 67 of the Dirty Lazy Keto Dirt Cheap cookbook. These are where all the recipes are $10 or less to make. Right? So this is for using the Instant Pot to make these muffins. Did you see how beautiful they were? Did you see that? They look like real muffins. And the tin foil, what I do is use this inside to separate the different layers of muffins when they're cooking. That way they don't get too moist. So here is an example of a muffin insert for your Instant Pot. And then before you put the next layer, because you don't want to just make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't want to just make 7. That's not enough. Who does? You need more than that. You want to have 2 layers of your little cutesy muffins, right? Your blueberry muffins. And then you can use a piece of tin foil to separate them down the middle. That prevents your muffins from getting too moist. It's like a tent. Now I love these tin foil sheets. They're a single serve. 25 comes in a box. I get these at the Dollar Tree if you have a Dollar Tree near you, or I'm sure your local grocery store or Walmart, something would carry them. Maybe not as cheap as the Dollar Tree. I know. Every time I go to the Dollar Tree, I buy like 20 packs. I'm that guy. I am. But you can use a tin foil to tent your first layer of muffins so the moisture, the water doesn't get all up in there and mess up your muffins. And then a second one here. Now, another trick when it comes to using tin foil inside the Instant Pot is people sometimes say to me, how do you get stuff out? Like, you know, you're cooking your muffins, you're cooking whatever, and you can't get stuff out, right? And you're using a fork and you're all like burning your arm and you're all mad. So here's a fun little trick you can do with tin foil, and you'll want to use a longer sheet probably, right? But you can use it like a sling. How cool is that? And it can cook inside your Instant Pot. So for example, let's say you're trying to get your trivet out. You could cook whatever you need to cook and then be able to grab this and get your business out of the Instant Pot. Simple. And this would stay inside. See what I'm doing here? It would stay inside while you're cooking. And you could use a longer piece, obviously, for whatever kind of insert you got going on. Simple, easy peasy, right? These are some of the fun tips that have helped me lose 140 pounds, keep it off, but most importantly, make it fun and simple and fast, because that's important. I like things fast. I'm always in a hurry to go somewhere and do something, right? So have you made those muffins? Because they're delicious. I hope you'll give them a try. Now, I think we should pause real quick and spin the wheel, because so many of you, I bet, were commenting, and we should pick a winner for a prize, right? I need some Vanna music. Every time I try to do music, though, on YouTube or online, I get in trouble because they say, oh, the royalty and copyright. I know. Take away all the fun. I just wanted a little theme music, so that way I'm not singing and irritating everyone. So I'll move the wheel up here real close, and I can tell you what prize we land on in case you can't see it. So what I like to do is I choose from the comments, just at random, some nice person, and whatever prize we land on, that's what they get. How fun is that? It's like I'm Vanna White over here with the hair. Okay, looks like today we're giving away an apron. That is a red Dirty Lazy Keto apron. Here it is in the package, all brand new. I'm ready to mail it to you. So if you are in the US, I'm able to do this. I don't ship internationally because Canada and overseas is so expensive. And I buy these myself and I mail them myself. There's no mailing center. There's no staff. It is me and my husband standing in line at the post office with our stamps. So thank you for understanding. But if you're in the US, I'm definitely considering you at random from the comments to be a winner of an apron. And the red apron says Dirty Lazy Keto, by the way. That one I showed you was in the package, but you've probably seen pictures of me, probably at the top on the toolbar or somewhere around, wearing one because they're super cute. I only have a few left, so I hope that you win. So anyway, don't go anywhere. I've got 2 more tips. And tip number 5, I don't want to get distracted. We want to talk about those inserts. Some of you might have gotten excited earlier when you saw those little cupcake inserts. Do you have inserts for your Instant Pot? Tell me which ones you have and which ones you like the best. I think everybody wants to know. No one wants to waste their money, right? So if you have an Instant Pot insert, tell us what you have and why. I'm going to show you one that I have found to be very helpful for me, but I think as a tip for you, number 5, to invest in some of these. You know, maybe play around a little. I personally bought like a starter kit on Amazon the first time and just got an assortment to see, well, I don't know what I'm going to like. So I just kind of tried out a few things. And one of the ones I like the best is this egg basket. Because if you haven't tried to make hard-boiled eggs yet in your Instant Pot, oh, you are missing out. You are missing out, because why buy peeled hard-boiled eggs at the grocery store, which people do. I'm showing them here on camera. You can buy them already cooked and peeled, but I don't know about you, but they taste weird. They have like a strange bath onto them, and it's not that hard to do it yourself once you learn. The trick is really to use this cool basket, I think, and put your eggs here and then put them in the Instant Pot on high pressure at 9 minutes. That's what I do. Tell me what you do. Maybe you have a different tip or suggestion, but my experience, 9 minutes on high pressure, 1 cup water, of course, and my eggs turn out perfectly. Like perfectly. Like I get so excited. I can make egg salad. I can make deviled eggs. There's no complaints from my house when I do that with my eggs. So that was tip number 5. I know we're doing good today, right? We're going quick. We're going quick. There's 7 tips. So tip number 6, I don't want you to waste any time when it comes to the Instant Pot. Don't waste time thawing meat. Now, I had a frozen brick here and I threw it aside, but don't waste time trying to thaw out meat if you're planning on cooking it in the Instant Pot anyway. You don't have to put it in the microwave or let it sit in your fridge overnight. You can just cook from frozen. That is a miracle. That's a dirty, lazy keto miracle, people. Can you believe that we can cook from frozen? Like when I was younger, I remember being taught by my mom that was terrible and you'd die from it. You know, we'd all die. But now with the Instant Pot and other cool gadgets like this, like the air fryer, don't forget video next, you can get your chicken. Dun, 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 the chicken headband has finally come out. You can cook, like, for example, a piece of chicken from frozen very quickly. And I've got lots of recipes for all different types of meats, you know, ham or roast or beef stew, chicken, you name it, in all of the cookbooks. If you need help with that, just check out your cookbook. I'm sure there's going to be a great recipe to meet your need. But in the meanwhile, what I recommend you do is get out your manual for your Instant Pot. Because a lot of people, I bet, are going to put in the comments, well, which Instant Pot should I buy? And I have this one. And what about that one? And how do you use this one? Okay, here's the answer. Consult your Instant Pot handbook, your recipe booklet. You can see I've made notes on mine. I have sticky notes coming out of mine. I'm like, radishes, 10. You know, here I've got artichokes, at least 20. It's funny. Like I write little notes to myself. That way I can do better next time and improve, right? And inside your manual, you'll see a time that says cooking time tables, cooking time basics. And your Instant Pot will have a manual that tells you how many minutes for each type of food. Isn't that helpful? So you don't have to ask me, and then I have to look up your book and then try to figure it all out. Now here, this says for chicken, for example, it says for chicken, you need to do, a chicken breast boneless would be 6 to 8 minutes of cook time per pound. So if it was 2 pounds, that would be double that. So that would be 12 to 16 for 2 pounds. 1 pound would be 6 to 8. Now that's for fresh chicken. And I noted here in my Instant Pot handbook that when it comes to cooking frozen food, they indicate it will prolong the preheating time and cooking time by a few minutes, depending on the amount of food. That is the technical answer. It will prolong the preheating and cook time by a few minutes. That's not necessarily helpful. So you may have to do a little trial and error. Okay? It's not so bad. Worst case, it's not done yet. You add another couple minutes and then re-pressurize and keep cooking. So don't be stressed out. What I do recommend, though, is you keep little notes to yourself. That way you know, oh yeah, the small artichokes are 20, the jumbos are 23. Just make little notes, and then next time you'll do even better. Or consult the cookbooks. It's all in there. Is that helpful? Do you guys cook from frozen? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Should I keep wearing the chicken hat? That's really the question. No, I'm just kidding. All right, are you ready for tip 7? This is when it comes to the final step. Tip number 7, using the Instant Pot for weight loss. Is a big one. It's a big one. You can tell by the length of my cleanup brush. There is less cleanup when you embrace this whole one pot cooking type of recipe. There's less mess, less to clean up. If you can narrow it down to just using the one pot, a lot easier to clean, right? Now, if I can give you a couple of recipes to direct you that way, you can get started making a one pot recipe. So again, if you have the No Time to Cook cookbook, which has been like a rock star today, because this is obviously a cookbook for people in a hurry. So lots and lots of recipes here with the Instant Pot. But you'll notice that there's a minestrone soup recipe on page 77. There is a beef stew recipe on page 160. Chop suey recipe on page 161. Those are all one pot recipes that utilize the saute function. Oh, that's very advanced, Stephanie. Don't scare me with the saute. I don't want to overwhelm you, but the saute is just a button here that you press, saute, calm down. It won't stress you out. And all it means is that the bottom is like a stovetop. So what that means is just like a stovetop, like a frying pan on your stove, it's being heated down here. So you can saute the vegetables or whatever it is you're starting off with before adding your ingredients and then cooking it. It's not as complicated as it seems. You can do it. I'll walk you through it on the No Time to Cook recipes here in this book, specifically the ones I just mentioned. Now, if you're too scared to do that, you're like, okay, ease me into this. I want more of a dump and run, just add all the ingredients real quick and then run away. That's okay too. Try the No Patience Pollo Soup. It's on page 80. The No Patience Pollo Soup. It's called that for a reason because you have no patience. You don't want to mess around with the sauteing. You just want to throw everything in and run away. Do you notice how my names of the recipes are funny? They're funny like me with the hat. Come on. I'm trying to make losing weight a little fun. Not so boring. Got to mix it up, right? So I'm curious which one of these 7 tips is your favorite. I'm curious which one you're going to actually try, or if there's a recipe that sounded good. Please share it in the comments because, as you know, I'll be picking a winner today for a red Dirty Lazy Keto apron that I will mail to you. Hello. So please make sure to comment in below. Comment. And if you're like listening on some kind of podcast that you can't comment, then make sure that you just send me a little note. You can always messenger me or email me, get in touch on Instagram, whatever. You find me out and then you tell me your tip because I want to include you in the prize pulling process. You never know. Share with me what's going on. I want to support you guys because Dirty Lazy Keto, I feel like it's a lifestyle that's doable for everyone. You know, especially when it comes to the Instant Pot. I feel like there's so many tips and tricks for weight loss. We can cook fast and make food taste good. And you will lose weight because you're eating healthier, right? You're not eating out. You're not having all those mystery ingredients or like getting suckered into some kind of tortillas or taco chips. You're eating healthy food that you made. So I know you can do it. It doesn't have to take all day. It doesn't have to make a mess. Just like with the Instant Pot, there's the air fryer and so many other fun gadgets out there to help you. And I'll teach you how to use them all because I am here. I am here to support you. I'm here to help. I believe that you can lose weight on Dirty Lazy Keto, and I'm going to be there to support you. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to cheer you on every step of the way, like clapping and cheering and celebrating and woohoo, woohoo. I'll be dancing and a dance and a dance and dance and dance. Because you can do this, you guys. You can do it. Don't ever tell yourself differently. And if you need help, come back and we'll watch another video. We'll support each other and I'll get you going again. It's going to be something that you do. Believe it. I know it.